नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagawatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1 and Text 1. You all can repeat with me. Janmadi asya yatah anvayan itaratasya ardheshu abhijñah swara dhene brahma udaya adikavaye muhyanti cha surayah tejovari rudham yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo amrusha dhamna svena sadha nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. O my Lord Sri Krishna, Son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because He is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations and He is independent because there is no other cause beyond Him. It is He only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By Him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of Him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon Him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon Him, for He is the absolute truth. Purport by Sri Prabhupada. So today is the last portion of this verse. I will just read these few paragraphs. Unless one surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, it is certain that he will be bewildered. When an intelligent man surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna and knows completely that Krishna is the cause of all causes, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, then only can such an intelligent man become a Mahatma or great soul. But such a great soul is rarely seen. Only the Mahatmas can understand that the Supreme Lord is the primeval cause of all creations. He is Parama, or ultimate truth, because all other truths are relative to Him. He is omniscient, and for Him there is no illusion. Some Mayavadi scholars argue that Srimad Bhagavatam was not compiled by Sri Vyasadeva, and some of them suggest that this book is a modern creation written by someone named Upadeva. In order to refute such meaningless arguments, Sri Sridhar Swami points out that there is a reference to the Bhagavatam in many of the oldest Puranas. This first shloka of Bhagavatam begins with the Gayatri mantra. There is reference to this in the Matsya Purana, which is the oldest Purana. In that Purana, it is said with reference to the Gayatri mantra in the Bhagavatam that there are many narrations of spiritual instructions beginning with the Gayatri mantra. And there is the history of Rudrasura. Anyone who makes a gift of this great work on a full moon day attains to the highest perfection of life by returning to Godhead. There is reference to the Bhagavatam in other Puranas also, where it is clearly stated that this work was finished in 12 cantos, which include 18,000 shlokas. In the Padma Purana also, there is reference to the Bhagavatam in a conversation between Gautama and Maharaj Ambarish. The king was advised therein to read regularly Srimad Bhagavatam if he desired liberation from material bondage. Under the circumstances, there is no doubt about the authority of the Bhagavatam. Within the past 500 years, many erudite scholars of the Bhagavatam and acharyas like Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Vallabhacharya, and many other distinguished scholars, even after the time of Lord Chaitanya, made elaborate commentaries on the Bhagavatam, and the serious student would do well to attempt to go through them to better relish the transcendental messages. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur specifically deals with the original and pure sex psychology called Adi Rasa, devoid of all mundane inebriety. The whole material creation is moving under the principle of sex life. In modern civilization, sex life is the focal point for all activities. Wherever one turns his face, he sees sex life predominant. Therefore, sex life is not unreal. Its reality is experienced in the spiritual world. The material sex life is but a perverted reflection of the original fact. The original fact is in the absolute truth, and thus the absolute truth cannot be impersonal. It is not possible to be impersonal and contain pure sex life. Consequently, the impersonalist philosophers have given indirect impetus to the abominable mundane sex life because they have overstressed the impersonality of the ultimate truth. Consequently, man without information of the actual spiritual form of sex has accepted perverted material sex life as the all in all. There is a distinction between sex life in the diseased material condition and the spiritual sex life. This Srimad Bhagavatam will gradually elevate the unbiased reader to the highest perfectional stage of transcendence. It will enable him to transcend the three modes of material activities, fruitive actions, speculative philosophy, and worship of functional deities as inculcated in the Vedic verses. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarane Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is the first shloka, purports as given by our Acharya in the form of a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of the Vedic wisdom, and it contains all topics, particularly the topics that we can see around us. So now, Prabhupada is explaining here that many people try to comment on Srimad Bhagavatam and its bona fides. So, in this particular purport, Prabhupada is quoting from various other Puranas that how Srimad Bhagavatam is the most bona fide Purana. Prabhupada is quoting from the oldest Puranas like Matsya and the Padma Puranas to prove that Srimad Bhagavatam is the most bona fide literature, and it is written by Srila Vyasadeva. Now you can see in the verse, in the end, the last line says, Satyam Param Dhimahi. Now this Dhimahi is actually a Gayatri mantra. Like we have this Brahma Gayatri, sometimes people chant Om Bhu Bhuva Swa Tassavitur Varanyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. So that Dhimahi, you can see it's appearing in the first shloka. So there is a Gayatri mantra in the Srimad Bhagavatam first shloka itself. So this Gayatri mantra is referred to by many other Puranas. So that's why you can see here all these Puranas and Vedic literatures, because they are all written by one single author, that is Srila Vyasadeva. You will see there is a consistent development of transcendental knowledge. One very striking thing that attracted me to this philosophy is that there is an extreme consistency in each and every book that we read. You take any Purana, or you take any Upanishad, and you take any Vedic portion, you will see there is a consistent development of knowledge. That's why some of the paths, some spiritual gurus, when they come up, sometimes they focus on a certain Purana, but still you will see it will not, the culture is same. The Vedic culture, you can see, for example, in all the Vedic paths, they respect the Goseva, and then they accept the deity worship. They recognize that yes, there is Lord in the Vigraha. Why? Because if the Lord is all powerful, if He is omniscient, He is all pervading, then why is He not in the Vigraha? Or why is He not in the temple? Some people's philosophy is that Lord is all pervading except in temples. So if He is all pervading, then why not in the temple? So this is, so people, in order to minimize the Vedic culture, they try to minimize the Supreme Lord. But here it is mentioned that Krishna is the cause of all causes. Now we see there is a construction coming up. Many times I give this construction example. When the construction is coming up, we can say the cause is so-and-so constructions. This builder, that builder, this. So here Bhagavatam is saying, behind all these causes, there is one common cause, and that cause is known as Supreme Absolute Truth. That's why it is called Satyam Param. Satyam means truth. Right? A regular understanding, Satya. Satya means truth. But now we are not referring to an ordinary truth. For example, gravitational law by Newton, is it truth or not? Right? So, similarly, there is a chief minister, there is a prime minister, these are all truths. There is a president of India, there is a bureaucracy, they are all truths. We are not referring to those truths. We are referring to what is known as Satyam Param. Parama Satya. We are referring to Parama Satya. Now what is that truth? Now the difference between these two truths is that now there is an election season in many states and probably in the country also is going to come up. When you say so-and-so is the Prime Minister or so-and-so is the Chief Minister, you are referring to a relative truth, and the relative truth means it can change. Relative truth is temporary and it can change. Yes or no? But we are not interested in such ever-changing truths. Actually, if something is changing always, Shastra doesn't call it as truth at all. It says it is false. If something is changing and it is temporary, it says it is false. Then when it is called truth, only when it is permanent. Only something is permanent, then only the Shastra is interested. We all should be interested in that permanent truth because, interestingly, Bhagavad Gita says we are also permanent. Dehano asmin yada dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara. It says that each one of us, we are all permanent living beings. Then you may say, Swamiji, what are you saying? We see death everywhere. All over we see the death. So again Bhagavad Gita says, the death that you are seeing is only to the body. Within this body, there is a permanent living being. When I say living being, is a person. Many people think Atma means light, some kind of a jyoti, some kind of an impersonal. No. The inside that living being is having a beautiful person. Atma is a beautiful personality, and that means Atma has given up this body and moves on to accept one more body to fulfill further ambitions in this world. It is said that as long as a living entity or the soul has ambitions and desires, he will be given more and more opportunities. If not in this life, next life, next life, next life. As long as he has got desires to enjoy, desires to achieve something in this world, yes, God is kind, Krishna is kind, he will give you chances. Next. This is a very important philosophical understanding, deviating from many of the popular beliefs in the world that exist today. Many religions feel that that's it, this is the end of it. After this life, there is no more life. At the end of this life, you will be either condemned to eternal hell or you will go to heaven. Bhagavatam is saying, no, wait a minute. We are not interested in heaven and hell because Bhagavatam says they are also temporary. Just now I have mentioned anything temporary, Bhagavatam is not interested. Then you may say, no, sir, we are seeing there are many other spiritual people, religious people, they talk about all these things. That we will see in the next verse, what Bhagavatam says about such philosophies. We are not interested in any specific thing, we are looking at the principle. So, even heaven and hell is temporary according to Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagawatam. That means even if somebody is condemned to hell, it is only temporary. Again he will have to come back to this world. Now this is something very interesting we need to understand. Once I went to, I happened to go to one homeopathy doctor, some cold and this and that. So when I went to his clinic, I saw that very mysteriously there are no pictures of any gods or anything. It's all because many doctors that I sometimes visit for whatever reason, then I see, they're keeping. So I felt that probably, he doesn't believe. So when I met him, in the end I gave some prasad and all that, so he took. And then I gave our magazine is also there. Then I gave him this magazine, that also he has taken. And then after some period I again went to him. Then this time he said, Swamiji, actually I come from a Christian family. My parents changed to this Christianity. And but I have a question, Swamiji. After reading your magazine, I wanted to ask. I said, okay, let me know. Then he said, our people say that at the end of this life, one will be condemned to eternal hell. I said, okay, what will happen in the hell? I was just asking him. He said, Swamiji, that's where my doubt is. It says that after going to the hell, he will be pushed into boiling oil and he will be cooked alive. I said, okay, next. Then he said, Swamiji, here is my question. We all say that God is kind, but how is it that He created such a scenario? And then my doubt is that day and night is only getting cooked and cooked and cooked in the boiling oil. And then you are saying it is eternal. That means there is no end to it. Day after day, only cooking. He's saying, Swamiji, what could be the God's purpose in this? Yes. I said, I don't know. God has no purpose like this. To cook us like that. So that's why Bhagavatam doesn't say it is eternal. It is only a temporary punishment place. He will be given some jalak and then again he will be brought back to this world so that again he can continue his journey. So, Udvam Gacchanti Sattvastha. Actually, this middle planetary system is known as Karma Bhumi. Earth belongs to that. If somebody earns pious credits, then Udvam Gacchanti, he goes to heaven. Very normally, many people go to heaven. You need not have to kill many thousands of people in order to go to heaven. Very normally, just by doing some pious rituals, they will reach heaven. Heaven going is not a big issue. Adho gachanti tamasaha. If somebody performs sinful activities out of ignorance, he doesn't know the laws of God in this world. Let us say he goes to hell, that is for some time. Even heaven is temporary, hell is temporary. After going to heaven, let us see, just quickly I'll tell you what happens to him. He will enjoy all kinds of wonderful facilities. But how long he will be there? 100 years. Not according to our time scale. It's according to the time scale of those heavenly planets. So 100 years he will live there. Again he has to die. It is said that when he dies, such living entities gets mixed up with the rainwater, and then rainwater descends into this planet. And when the rainwater gets into a grain, the soul also gets into the grain, and when that grains are eaten by the human beings, particularly in a male, it gets into the virya, the semen. So the living entity takes shelter of the semen. And when the husband and wife, when they combine, then the soul, the living entity, enters into the womb of the mother, takes shelter of the mother's body. And that living entity gradually develops its own body. It develops its own body. How it develops and it becomes a full-fledged baby is explained in Srimad Bhagawatam in one of the cantos you will see. This is written 5,000 years ago, where there is no endoscopy, this scopy, that scopy, where you can scan it and see what's happened, how the embryo grows. But there is entire embryology described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, now when the person goes to hell, some living entity goes to the hell, let us see what happens in the hell. Yes, he will go through some punishment. And at the end of that punishment, he will again come back to this world and takes birth. At the point wherever he went there, again he comes back and he continues his journey. This journey, why is living entity moving like this? Sometimes going up, sometimes going down, in search of permanency, in search of that all blissful life. Where will I get this happiness which is permanent, which will not give me any reactions? It should. So, the living entity is continuously searching for happiness, varieties of happiness. That is our nature. The soul is by nature joyful and happy. We are not supposed to be like this. It is supposed to be very joyful and happy. But because of this covering of this body, we are all subjected to the miseries and ups and downs of this world. This is what Bhagavatam is. Okay, now quickly to prove that there is a soul inside this body, I will tell you one example. Say you take a young man or a young girl, anyway, I'll just take one this thing. A young man, say a handsome, beautiful, well-built young man, and intelligent. He is talking about what he wants to achieve in his life. He is saying, I want to achieve this, I want to achieve that. He is expressing his ambitions to grow in his life. He is expressing his ambitions, how he wants to enjoy this life. Now suddenly a heart attack came and that person collapsed. Now the same well-built, beautiful body is lying on the floor Now you go and, when he was alive and kicking, let us say somebody goes and slaps him, what will happen? Because he's a big man, he will finish him off. Right? Now, when just after 1 second he fell down on the floor, you go and slap him. Is there anybody to slap you back? Now you ask him, just now you are telling me that you want to become a big, whatever, engineer, this, that, and all that. Now that opportunity has come. Do something. Do you think that he will respond? Where is that person who is saying, I want to be like this, I want to enjoy like this, I want this? Where is that person? That person has left that body. What is missing? After 1 second, before 1 second, you will say lively, energetic, ambitious personality who will not allow anybody to touch him. And just after 1 second, you will see none of these symptoms are present. Now, what is the difference between these two states? There is one state, just 1 second difference, there is one more state. What is the difference between these two? We all know something is missing. Right? That's something which is missing is called the spirits. Atma as the spirit. He is the actual person who is desiring. This is what we need to realize. All those ambitions and everything is coming from whom? That same Atma is desiring, I want to be like this, I want to be like that, I want to be like this. But as soon as that death came, and the body is gone. Same beautiful body otherwise, but it's not. There is nobody to respond to you. This is the difference. So this is called, what is missing is that Atma is a person. When he was alive, his ambitions are coming out through this body, and when he is not alive, that means he has moved on. In his life he has moved on. It's not that he is dead. He will not die. Atma will not die. There is no death to Atma. Na mruyate, na jayate. It has no birth, no death. Only body has those states. This is the very important, surprising truth of our lives, that actually Atma is permanent. That's why we continuously seek permanency. We continuously seek permanent, youthful life. And this is one more ambition of the soul. Soul is always youthful. Let me tell you that. Soul is always youthful and energetic, always joyful. That's why, even though the body may age, inside that spirit, the soul will be same. It has no old age. Your mind and the internal soul, there is no old age to them. Your mind is always young. Your soul is young. Same. He will have the same ambition. I want to complete this, I want to complete that. Body may be aging, but it will not strike him. It will not, internal spirit is same. His enthusiasm is same. This is the dichotomy. This is the duality that we see in our life. Our ambitions are permanent side. Our body is not cooperating. It is not helping us. This is called duality. This is the dichotomy. Our ambitions are not fulfilled by this body. That's why soul is continuously searching. Okay, this body, my body may not be suitable, but that body looks attractive. Many times we feel that hero or heroine we see and say, wow, these bodies are better. But when you go and ask that same cinema actor or actress, sometimes they talk to us also, we see they also have the same issues. It's not that they have anything different. They also go through the same turmoil. And in fact, they think If we are like this, if we are like that, it will be much better. Actually, long ago I remembered there is one very famous cine actor in the Mumbai. That's called Bollywood or Tollywood, or what is that? Okay. So some Rajput, Sushant, somebody, uh, he is unfortunately he has committed suicide. So everybody is asking me, Prabhu, what is this? He's such a nice actor and is tall and very looks great and all those things. Why is this? Then see, the point is, maybe yes, he has got a better body, but still he is inside this temporary body. His ambition is he wants to be permanent and enjoy, beautiful, and no suffering. Soul doesn't like any suffering. We have no experience. We are not meant to be like that. Soul has no pressures, no stresses, nothing. Joyful. Anandamayo abhyasa. Always engaging in more and more happiness. This is the nature, our original nature. Unfortunately, this body is not supporting me. And we think that body may be better. Or if I change my place, if I change my apartment, if I change my area, I will be better. Maybe a little better, but ultimately there is no better. Your ambition is not that. And then sometimes we think, maybe if I go to heaven, I will be better. I can enjoy better. No. Krishna says, Brahma bhuvana loka punaravartino Arjuna. Brahma bhuvana loka. Even if you go to the highest planet that is called Satya Loka, where Lord Brahma is present, like here it is said, Tene Brahma Hrudaya Adikavaye. Brahma is known as Adikavi. He has a planet. Everybody has a house. We have our own apartment, our own house. Lord Brahma also has his own house, and there is a planet in which he lives. And he is a superintending deity of that planet. So now, even if you go to the highest planet, Krishna is saying, again we have to come back here. Brahma bhuvana loka punaravartino. Avartina. We will complete one cycle and again come back to this world. So, within this entire universe, there is no permanent place. That's why Bhagavatam doesn't talk about hell and heaven. It is talking about Satyam Param Dhimahi. Tell me if there is anything permanent. Tell me any place where I can live always blissfully, joyfully, not bothered about my next month's salary or turnover or this and that. Tell me, I want to live free from all these calculations. Yes. Are you looking at a place like that? Yes. So, what is that description of such places? We will see in the next second canto, third canto, there are descriptions where the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Narayana, where he resides. So, there is something called permanency, but not in this world. In this world, there is a permanent truth, but that is not visible. So here it is mentioned, Krishna is that Satyam Param. The Parama Satya is that there is God and God is permanent. And we are also connected to God. We are part and parcels of God and we are also permanent. Our permanent relationship with God, Krishna, if it can be revived, then that relation will make us happy. That dependence on Krishna, that exchange with Krishna, that will make the devotees happy. And this happiness, this relationship will never break. It will never break. All other relationships, they're on a shaky platform. They're temporary. But if we are looking at something permanent, then it is Satyam Param Dhimahi. Why not establish our relationship with the Supreme Absolute Truth? Why some temporary truth? Supreme Absolute Truth. So that's the whole subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam is about that permanent place, that permanent personality. So, do you mean to say Bhagavatam is only about some world where we have to go? And what about here in this world? Yes, this world is also created by that Supreme Personality of God. This world is not false, but it is temporary. So now why did Krishna created this world? How can I live here? How can I attain perfection here? This also Bhagavatam talks. Bhagavatam is not saying now you give up everything, this is all Maya, this is all illusion. No. This may be temporary, but this world can fulfill our highest ambitions of reaching our permanency and happiness. So, this is the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam is the beautiful, each and every verse is wonderfully composed by Srila Vyasadeva, and every word has tons of meaning. For example, last 6-7 weeks we have been discussing about this particular shloka. Of course, next class we will move on to the next verse. There we will see more interesting details connected to other topics. So here we can see each and every word carries so much meaning. As I said, our Guru's Guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he gave class on Srimad Bhagavatam, he gave 1 full month on this particular shloka. 30 days he is talking about Srimad Bhagavatam first verse, hours together. So much to learn about this absolute truth. Somehow, what if I can get in touch with that absolute truth now? Forget about that world and this world. Can I be in touch with that supreme absolute truth now? Bhagavatam says, yes. One of the ways you can touch Krishna, you can associate with Krishna, is by chanting this mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very important. When we associate with Krishna, then we will be free from the contamination of this world, contaminations in our mind, negativity in our mind, negativity in our life. Everything becomes purified if we are in touch with Krishna. Like when you are associating with the sunlight, let us say when you are in the sunlight, actually diseases will come down. Similarly, when you are in Krishna's grace, is on you, then your all those whatever issues you have, trividha klesha. So this is called 3 kinds of kleshas. Everything minimized. And once you become healthy, how you become happy in the regular life. Similarly, as you go on associating with Krishna, then we'll become healthy spiritually, and then we can also enjoy our relationship with the Lord. That association with the Lord, that sangatya. So we can touch God just by chanting His names, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam or reading, by worshipping Tulasi, what and all you are all doing, and Kirtan, Everything is meant to give us an opportunity to associate with Krishna. In some of the Ayurvedic treatments I have seen, if the disease is really bad and they say that nothing can be done, they will say, you simply lie down in the outside world so that sunrise will fall on you and it will. That's why in some of the traditions, if somebody is sick, they'll say you go and worship sun god. What is the idea? As soon as he comes to worship the sun god, he is actually exposing himself to the sunlight also. So there is a automatic development of his health. Similarly, whatever negativities are haunting us in our life and our inner ambitions are for a better life, then the only way is be in touch with Krishna. Associate with Krishna regularly, continuously, day by day, and then you will see you blossom. You blossom into a beautiful individual. I'll stop here. Any questions? Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.